Hello, you divine, infinite human beings. You are all that is, ever has been, and ever shall be. You are divine, infinite love. You are divine, infinite truth. Ciao, ciao. You are divine, infinite source. Hello, hello, hello. I'm coming to you from my little village here in Sicily called Scopello. It's a very beautiful village. And Kiki's with me. She's going to co-host this session here. So I want to take a few moments to talk to you about a blog that I just posted around cyberspace called The Truth About Magic. Since Halloween is on its way here, I want you to, and we're in a frequency war, I want you to become, put your antennas up and become really aware of what is going on. The truth is, we are all magical. We are magical beings. Yes, we are all magic. And what is magic? Magic is that interconnectedness, that word beneath the spoken word of soul communication, of knowing that you are one with everything, and of also knowing you have divine technology. And at one time before we fell, we all had 12 strands of DNA. We all were magic. We did things that we would consider to be magical, or that we use technology to do today, starting fires, putting lights, traveling. That was all within our ability. It was our God-given rights, abilities as divine, infinite human beings, angelic human beings. And we all had this. But as we fell, and as we were co-opted by the negative forces, the dark side, the alien intruders, the controllers that are very busy at work in the world today, we were downgraded medically. Our RNA, our DNA was tampered with, which of course history repeats itself, nothing new. So we were downgraded from the, of course, 12-stranded silicon-based diamond DNA beings to the double strands that you see now on the planet. And we lost our magical abilities. But there were those that maintained higher genetics and were born with gifts, intuitive abilities, sixth senses, supernatural powers, and they were regarded throughout history many times as, witches or wizards, or even they were often in other cultures gurus and sages and wise people who had the sight, the second sight. Many of them were considered messiahs or Christs, and many of them were what I call Christ players that incarnated into higher genetically realized bodies to help counteract this war that we've been in for eons between the dark and the light. And this information, they also retain information of our true history. Hey, and this information was passed down from mother to daughter, father to son, and also the genetics were held within the female, which explains a lot of the genocides. For example, of course, the Jewish tradition, mother to child, and the 6 million that were killed. But we're not even addressing the millions upon millions of women who were killed just in Spain alone during the Inquisition, but all over our planet, burned as witches. And these were not evil people doing the devil's work. The ones that burned them were the evil ones doing the devil's work. And they killed and murdered and assassinated all, especially the females, those who contain the higher genetics, or created a very traumatic experience, which I call the mother wound, for women by creating forced breeding programs to produce the 13 bloodlines of the Anunnaki hybrids that make up the Illuminati. Oh yeah, I said a big mouthful there. So, lots of information here. It's all in my book, The Infinite Human. But the truth is, what happened then was that they took all this knowledge from the truth, all the truth from the Emerald records, all these documents and texts that had been handed down that found their way into the Bible, but they misinterpreted them, they hijacked them, they inverted, they perverted them. They took magic and turned it into black magic. They took the Deva kingdom and turned them into banshees and ghouls and you know, trolls and all kinds of lower density apparitions. And they also, because our frequencies were so lowered, we were capped off, and so those of us with sight, many had to go into hiding, and that's why you associate caves and, you know, all these people as hermits, because they had to go into hiding and separate from the real world. And as a result, they took all their information, and many of the okay, first of all, they couldn't reach as high to the God source worlds, to the higher dimensions at that time, because it was always closed off throughout history. So perhaps they could only reach to the higher level, the astral plane, which was still the plane of illusion, and they used aids to augment their abilities, to help serve as a portal into the other worlds, like runes, tarot cards, bones, words, incantations, all kinds of things, spells that were all hijacked. So many of the things you see at work in the world today have been deeply hijacked and turned into black magic, and the portals turned into portals into the lower dimensions, of demonic dimensions. And a lot of what we think of pagans, the pagans were simply, you know, the hands-me-downs from the Atlantean traditions of sun worship, which was worshiping the law of one, the oneness of all things, worshiping our sun as the giver of life, the true life force of the real sun, not the black sun, not the Saturnian anti-life, anti-Saturn satanic forces, okay? No. But those were all hijacked, and they took all this connectedness with oneness that was serving the oneness of all things, which is what true magic is about, and our divine technology is about, and they co-opted into artificial technology that they commanded, not the oneness of all things, to serve their purpose, to become self-serving, service to self. And what we see now at work in the world is on these, what I'm leading up to is that they hijacked all of these festivals, all these natural rhythms of the planet that were celebrated. For example, now we're coming up to Halloween, which is called Samhain. And what they did is they also hijacked all the power points and the ley lines on our planet. And so what we have now is, especially on a festival like Halloween, it's been completely hijacked and perverted into a satanic blood rituals where a lot of bad stuff goes on during this time frame, okay, on Sunday, which is coming up around Halloween. So you really want to have your antennas up and be aware of how you're participating in this, especially since we're in a frequency war right now, because you really want to put your energies on the higher dimensions of the God source world, on the higher frequencies, and not get caught up and distracted or attacked during this powerful time. So there's going to be a lot of AI, black magic stuff being hurled at us, being put around the planet right now. So I suggest you do whatever you can at this time to either create a 12D shield, which is very, very important. It's called the 12D shield. That connects you to the higher God source worlds, and you bathe yourself in platinum rainbow lights and strengthen your inner hara. You also, can just do bubble of light, a rainbow bubble around you, whatever you need to do if you start feeling some of these AI attacks, and some of them are technological, artificial technology too. So be aware of where you are. I was in a supermarket the other day and I had to leave because there were too many people that had been jabbed, and then with the fluorescent lights it was conducting so much weaponized stuff. So be aware of how you're feeling, and if you need to just stay in, if you need to just protect yourself, or if you can, also send out beautiful, loving rainbow frequencies to the planet, because unfortunately at this time there's so much SRA, which is the satanic ritual abuse and child sacrifice going on. Incredible stuff. So you really don't want to get pulled into that subconsciously. You want to be aware of it. If you're feeling down, you want to raise the vibration, because as you raising your vibration, you're going to raise the vibration. You're going to help a lot with this. So we know we're in the midst of war, guys, but you know, keep on keeping on, and just antennas up, as my husband used to say, antennas up, be aware. Ciao for now. Ciao from Sicily. Ciao. Ciao. Ciao, Riley. Love you.